In this video, we're going to make this text in a captivating fantasy environment. All we need is just two planes and a text showing you how to texture the first plane and transform the second plane into a beautiful sky. We'll also learn how to light the scene and make the text pop with a stunning 3D look. So, let's get started. We can add a plane. S5 to make it bigger like this. Now I add another plane, RX90, to make it like this. Switch here. Now GY and make it here. GZ up. S and scale it like this. Add a text. RX90 to make it in the vertical. I go here and I make it in the center. I go here in geometry and I extrude it just like this. Hit tab and hit any text you want. Hit tab to close this window. Okay, now I want to change this font. So I go here and I select font, but I will not using the default font. So I go here in my computer and I select font and I select this one. Download it from a website called DaFont. So I select this one. Now S and I make it bigger. GZ. SZ and I make it like this. As you can see here, this window I make it just for the render view. So first I select the camera, I decrease the focal to 26. Now as you can see, I must to scale this plane like this. Now Ctrl A and apply the scale. For this one too, Ctrl A, apply the scale. Now we have our text, we have our two planes. Click here, right click, horizontal split. Now here switch to shader editor, hit N to close this window. Now I select first the plane, hit new. Now select this, Ctrl Shift T and go here in texture and select a texture. So I select this one, I select all, and now for the displacement I disable it like this. Okay, as you can see now we have this background like this. So I go back here in edit mode and I go here in UV and I select cube projection. Now here open any window and make it in UV editor and select all this vertex and S and scale it just a little like this. Now I go back to object mode. Now we want to make some change here. Go here and I add a color, a mix color. A mix color, I make it like this. And I go back here in converter, I select color ramp. I don't want to make it here, so I make it color ramp, I make it like this, and now I change this. And I make the mix color here. Now I go here and add in texture, I select noise texture I go here and add a color ramp. Connect color to the factor. I make it here. And I make it in 1. And here select multiply. I increase the number here. The detour 2. And the roughness I make it like this. Now you can play with this to give it a nice look. Maybe a texture, I select this and I go back here in UV and I select, so I make it like this and I go back here. Okay, now I select this background, hit new, Ctrl T. If you select this one and you hit Ctrl T and you haven't this texture coordinate and mapping and this image texture, you must to go here in edit, in preferences, here in add-ons, here hit node and enable this. Okay, now I open the image in my computer and I select a sky. So maybe I select this one. Now as you can see, just I add an image to this plane and the texture to this one, and now we have this environment like this. Now I select this text G, Y, and I make it here. Now we can scale it like this, G, Z, up a little, just a little, like this. Now for the text, hit new. It's very simple. Roughness 0, transmission in 1, and make it metallic. Now we have this look like this. So G, Y, and I make it here. The plane, I scale it up like this. Now I go back. I select this one. I go here and I increase the emission to give it this look. Select the plane, Ctrl A, and apply the scale. Now I go back to edit mode and I go here in UV. I make it like this. I want to give it a nice look like this. Now I go here and I add an area light. G, Z, up. And I scale it in the x-axis like this. And I go here and I give it 500 like this, and I change this color and they make it red like this. They change this for the size, so I increase the size just like this, and they give it this color like this. Now of course I can scale the text more. Now if I go here to render one image to see how look as or image, now we have this with this look in this environment. As you can see, it's easy to do and simple. So this tutorial is finished. I hope that you like it. If you want to see more tutorial like this, watch the video in the end.